Hey everyone. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've experienced. It's similar to my other video about 5 tips about art that I did earlier. But if you don't like this format, just mute the video and you can follow along with what I'm doing. It's similar to my other tutorials in structure, so that should give you a good basis. But I wanted to talk today about why art is so hard and why being an artist is very difficult. Just share some of my experiences and in hopes to inspire all of you to keep creating because it is extremely difficult, contrary to popular belief, to be an artist. And so my art journey began ever since I was little, all throughout middle school, high school, and stuff like that. I actually had an art teacher in high school who was probably my biggest art critic, and she would just, she wasn't the kindest person. But so I've been painting for 10 plus years, even that, like professionally painting, quote, quote, for 10 plus years. And it's honestly the most difficult and rewarding thing I think I've done in my life that involves a creative outlet. And I think the reason that is it's just something that I crave to do, and I crave to do it well. And oftentimes our whole experience of being an artist is craving to be something that we are not at the time. I still look at other people's works and instantly compare myself to those works. And we're surrounded by so many amazing people on YouTube and the greats who've kind of pioneered watercoloring, and then the current greats that are going on right now. And we're just bombarded with so many great pieces that it's impossible to not begin to compare ourselves to theirs. And my wife actually showed me this Instagram post, believe it or not, that was talking about how our taste for art often outgrows our skill level way, way quicker. And so what that means is we oftentimes develop a very fine taste for art and what we like, and we expect our art that we create to be on par with the art that we see. And so you get stuck in this weird middle ground that you can't quite get out of because you're growing, but your taste for art is growing, and so you're never going to achieve the level that you want. You're never going to be good enough because your art taste is always growing and evolving. And it's just a weird place to be, and the comparisons to other people can be debilitating for an artist and make everyone want to give up. And there's been stints throughout my art career that I have not painted for months, and I stop and my creative outlet goes elsewhere, which I think is normal, but it's also due to just the self-bombardment of not living up to my own expectations of myself. And so I totally get it. Like, as a beginning artist, especially with watercolor is very unforgiving. And so kudos to everyone who's doing it. It's one of the more difficult things to learn in the art world. You're working with very time-sensitive things that are nearly irreversible, and so it can be daunting and frustrating, and that's okay. That's part of the process. I think anything that's worthwhile, even outside of art, is frustrating and pushes you and pulls you in different directions and is meant to frustrate you. And that's why it's worthwhile, because it's such a journey, and to learn how to enjoy that whole process is important. And it's something I'm still working on too, but learning to be okay with the not living up to everything else you see. And it takes time. And I don't think it's something you'll ever feel content with. You'll never hit a stopping point and be like, yeah, I'm good enough. I think it's kind of like an athlete. I don't think they ever hit a point where they are the greatest. I'm sure even someone like, I don't follow sports, so I'm just kind of pulling this out of my head, but LeBron James, I'm sure he probably hits a wall, and he's considered probably one of the greatest basketball players. I don't know. Sports people, let me know if I'm completely blowing smoke, but I'm sure he still feels like he could be better. it's a weird world. And to top that, you also have just the culture that we live in. As far as other communities, I don't know outside of the United States, but in the United States, art, I think it's becoming more acceptable as a career option, but you hit a lot of doubt from everyone else. So when you're doubting yourself, and then your parents or your friends doubt you as well, you're the only person that is believing in yourself, and it's really difficult to believe in yourself when no one else is believing you in a culture that just kind of shuns an art career, or they just don't see the possibility of this becoming anything. I'm a firm believer that the only reason people have success is because they have stuck through the worst times. They have stuck through the best times. Going back to the Beatles, I play in a band, so we've always talked about this. The Beatles played shows for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and in just this small pub. And that was where they got their practice in. And once they hit America, then they took off. And, this is not from a Beatle fanatic, so a lot of this story could be completely misguided. But the point being is they put the effort in, they put everything on the line for it, and it paid off. And it was risky, and I'm sure their parents, their girlfriends would have just looked at them like they were crazy until it finally worked out. But the doubt that we have from everyone around us is insane, and usually that's stemming from them from a place of worry and care, and that something in their life hasn't amounted up to it. And it's most likely because they haven't put the time in. As a photographer, I've done mainly a photography career in the arts for the past couple of years. And the only reason I had succeeded in doing product photography, so I had basically done portfolio work and then moved on to doing product photography for Amazon. And the only reason I achieved anything with that is because I stuck with it. And through sticking with it, I got connections to people who got me to the places I need to go. And same with art. It's all about sticking with it and getting through the frustrations and all of those moments of complete and utter self-doubt. In practice, every painting I do feels like a practice to me. This painting feels like a practice. My best works that have won awards feel like practice, and I still look at them. I have one hanging on my wall to my right now that I just look at and don't see what everyone else sees. I see errors. And so it's just, you get all these things just stacked up against you as an artist and a creative, and that's not even just painting, that's anything, any type of career field. And I think that's normal. I think it's healthy. I think if you let it be healthy and a lesson and don't give up on it and don't let it make you depressed or anything like that, then it's a healthy thing to do. It's kind of like working a muscle. If you go to the gym, you're continually pushing that muscle to grow, and the only reason it's growing is because you are working it and causing it stress and straining it and tearing those little fibers. And it's similar to art, where every painting you do is stretching your art muscle, tearing those fibers and stressing out that art muscle to grow. And I think that's so important. Even when you don't want to paint, you keep painting. And when you hate that painting, you paint another one and you release it online. I think online is such a crucial thing because you can release it to an instant audience. And just being steadfast in your pursuit for art and being always hungry for it. I paint every day. Whether it's good or bad, I have this pile of paintings that you guys have never seen. They will never see the light of day, that is sitting next to me. That some are good, most of them are meh, and you only see the good ones. So that's the problem, You only see, it's kind of like Instagram, you only see the happy parts of people's lives. You only see the work that I think is willing enough for an online audience. So it's kind of a weird thing, and I feel for you guys. My biggest thing is with you joining this channel and coming to watch my videos is it shows me that you guys want to learn, and I think that's huge. And just continue to learn. Be a forever student in this craft, and you will have so much great success. It's going to take a long time, but don't think about it in length or in terms of length. Think about it in terms of each piece. And I think it'll be a lot more enjoyable, and you have a road ahead of you, but make that road enjoyable. And I just love each and every single one of you guys, and I'm so appreciative for you guys supporting me, and I hope to support you with these tutorials and help you on your art journey. And you guys are great, and thank you for stopping by to watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. Thank you.